is on the use of a theory of critical distance to estimate the dynamic strength of the notch 6063T5 aluminum alloy. So I divided my presentation into 6 main parts: introduction to the theory of critical distance and its application, and the reformulation of the TCD, expanded details, validation, conclusion. So the main aim of my work is reformulating the theory of critical distance and make it useful to design the dynamic failure strength and dynamic condition. So the real challenge here is that accommodating the dynamic behaviors, which is high nonlinear, into the linear elastic constitutive frame. So if we approaching to this problem, we can keep using the linear elastic constitutive law to do the design, which is save time and money. And so it is well recognized the theory of critical distance is most effective tool which can be used by structural engineering to take into account the notch effect of the occurrence. And if we pay attention on the model 1 with static loading, we can see we just use the simple linear elastic stress field to post-process all the data. So this idea has been formalized into many different ways, such as the point method, the line method, and the area method, and the volume method. And if we consider about the static assessment, we will, according to the TCD, we can see if the effective stress, which is critical distance dependent on, if the effective stress is lower than the material inherent strength, sigma naught, we can see the component is safe. So therefore, we can see if the notch component is being designed is capable of withstanding the applied load as long as the effective stress is lower than the sigma naught, which is material inherent strength. So one of the most interesting features about the TCD is the effective stress, which can be calculated by simply applying the linear elastic constitutive law as the equation 3, 2, 3, and 4. So the common features from these equations is that the critical distance, each equation they use the critical distance. Yeah. So obviously the other important information is material inherent strength. So for the very brittle material, we can assume the sigma naught could be taken equal to the sigma ATS. So as long as we know the K1C from the experiments, the determination of L is straightforward. But on the contrary, if the failure breakage is persists by a certain amount of plasticity, the sigma naught seems to be larger than the sigma ATS. In this case, the only way to determine the sigma naught and the critical distance L is by running appropriate experiments. To run experiments, so we can use this figure 2 as a strategy to define the sigma naught and the critical distance L. As it is well known that the dynamic behaviors of the metallic material is quite different from the static one. So they should have some relationships between those material properties against the strain or loading or the displacement rate. So in order to find the relationships between them, we collect some experimental data from the technical literature. So as the figure 3 plotted, it's plotted the log graph of the either the dynamic failure stress and the fracture toughness against the strain rate and the stress intensity factor rate. So if we use Z dot to denote the loading rate, strain rate, displacement rate, or the stress intensity factor rate, we can simply get the mechanical load, the mathematical load as that one. So these two figures clearly support the idea that the selected material data can be adopted by using the power law. So from Terry Taylor's book, he mentioned the dynamic field stress is proportional to the sigma UTS. So if we apply, the reason is that if we know the dynamic field stress is it can follow the simple power law, in the same way we can assume the material inherent strength follow the same way as the power law, as the equation 8 we assume. So we can simply use the same power law to the critical distance L as the equation 9 shows here. Yeah, according to the definition 2, 3, and 4, the calculation of the effective stress, we can get the dynamic effective stress, which can be arranged like the equation 10, 11, and 12. So if we back to the design issues, we also can see according to the TCD, the dynamic breakage can be avoided once the effective stress is lower than the material inherent strength and the dynamic condition. In order to check all this, this validity of all this reformulation of the TCD, we run 2 series of tests. The first test we show on the left side, hand side, is tested at the University of Sheffield by testing the aluminum alloy 6063T5. So the KT is ranging from 1 to 3, and under the loading rate, which ranging from 0.1 to 1,000. And the second set of tests were tested at the Institute of Continuous Media Mechanics in Russia. So the titanium and the other kind of aluminum alloy was tested. So the KT is ranging from 1 to 6, and the strain rate is ranging from 0.01 to 10 per second. The figure 5 shows the test rig we have been used at the University of Sheffield to test the aluminum alloy 6063. So 2 loading cells was placed on the 2 ends of the specimen to gather the loading signal, and the high-speed camera was used to record the picture video clips to find the fractal cross. So once we finish all these experiments, the figure 6 is graphs we used to gather to post-process the gather signal in order to find the maximum force and the strain and the failure time. So by using this method, we can simply get the nominal loading rate, nominal strain, and the nominal strain rate as the equation 14, 15, and 16 shows. Yeah, so in order to check the reformulation of the TCD, the relevant stress field is essential by using the commercial software assays. And we assume the material is linear elastic, follow the linear elastic constitutive flow. And we give the initial assumptions to say that the material inherent strength could be taken equal to the sigma UTS, which is tested from the plant sample. And from the linear elastic stress field in the vicinity of the positive, tested under pretty static condition for notch 6063T5. We can, so it's fully confirmed that the signal could be taken equal to the sigma UTS. So once our initial assumption was confirmed, we can, according to the result of the plant sample, we get the equation for the power law of the dynamic failure stress for the plant sample. So by post-processing the linear elastic stress field as the same strategy figure 2 shown here, we can simply get the treat of the critical distance L, which is power law as well, as the 20 and the 21 shows against the loading or strain rate. Yes, now, therefore, the effective stress can be calculated. Follow according to the TCD, follow the point method, line method, and the error method. We can simply get the error result, which plotted on the figure 9 shown here. So all the error is falling within error interval of minus and plus 20%. So if we apply the same procedure for the notch 6063T5 to the other set of experimental tests, which is the titanium and another kind of aluminum alloy. So the same result, same accuracy we can get from 2 figures. And yeah, moreover, if we apply the same procedure to the other test on the literature. So in this case, from the linear elastic stress field, we can see the sigma model is much higher than sigma UTS. But the result is really accurately from that. So we can see even the sigma node is bigger than the sigma UTS. The TCD still worked. For the conclusion, we can conclude the reformulation of TCD was successfully illustrated in non-metallic material strength and dynamic loading. And the TCD can be used to predict the dynamic failure by directly post-processing the linear elastic model without using any plastic model. And the point method, line method, and error method, they have the same accuracy in predicting the dynamic condition. And the TCD was seen to be capable of estimating the falling within an error interval of about 20%.